Real estate is about freedom, choice freedom, time freedom, and money freedom, and the impact you can make with that freedom. But it doesn't come without cost. Your freedom takes work. That's why Neil Timmins brings together the tools you need to build your real estate legacy, from tips and tricks to interviews with industry titans. It's all here in one place. Real grit. Let's get to it.
What if I told you you can make 20 times the return of a single family fix and flip on your next big deal? Well, it's actually possible. It's possible inside the world of commercial real estate. Say, I'm inviting you to this free challenge. It starts August 15th. It's totally free. It's a 5-day challenge where I'm going to take you and deep dive into the world of commercial real estate, more specifically, capital multiplier properties, what that is, how we identify them. I'm going to show you how to identify them, how to evaluate them, and how to lock them up risk-free. I'm going to give you all the paperwork to do it. It's totally free. You can sign up to join us at www.20xprofitchallenge.com/real grit. That's www.20xprofitchallenge.com/real grit. And I'll see you in the challenge. Coming up on today's episode, Rashard Alomari talks about how he went pretty much bankrupt, losing his business and then fighting his way, finding it first into real estate, then fighting his way back financially to the point where now he's generating 7 figures in wholesale fees. So coming up right now, Rashard Alomari. Rashard Alomari, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. How are you, Neil?
So good to see you. It's been a little while since I last saw you in the flesh. So it's good to see you.
It has been.
At least on Zoom land here. Hey, we all started someplace. What was your first entry point into real estate?
Yeah, to get right to it, I started off in the gas station business. I failed epically, and I stumbled across wholesale real estate back in 2017 on Instagram, actually, via Secret Entourage.
Okay.
Bought a course and hailed it and went right after it, made it happen.
What was your first deal?
First deal, Bandit Science, out in the middle of nowhere. At the time, I lived an hour from any major metro. So it was pretty difficult to land deals and to actually land buyers. But somehow we made it work, landed our first deal, or my first deal, within 35 days, made $2,300, walked away with about $1,700 of that after paying the JV partner off. But 500 plus deals later, here we are today.
Dude, you got your taste of it and you were all in, weren't you?
Absolutely. Yeah. Wash, rinse, repeat.
Yeah. Yeah. What was that journey like, coming up that second year? What was that path like for you?
The first 1 to 2 years really wasn't that intense. Knocked out probably, I'd say 30 deals or so over the first 2 years. But, keep in mind, I am in Memphis, so the deal size is a lot smaller than it is out in like Arizona.
Right.
That's kind of what we did, about 20, 30 deals over the first couple of years. And right till I got with Joe and really scaled this into what we have today. Yeah.
You just wholesaling? Was that early on? Was that the focus?
Yeah. The focus was wholesaling, trying to build as much cash as possible to survive. And then it transitioned into what we do today.
Yeah. Well, let's transition. Tell me what does it look like today in your business?
Yeah, we do a little bit of everything. I'm not a big fix and flipper. I don't think it's as sexy as everyone makes it out to be by any means. I don't really like the cash cycle. I love the wholesale. So we're very, very heavy wholesale. We also sell to hedge funds. We also do a lot of novations, and I add to my rental portfolio every single month.
Do you? Yeah. What's a rental look like for you? You got a sweet spot of what that buy box looks like?
I'd say in the 150 to 200 ARV range. Rents are around $1,800 a month. Usually looking at net about $500, sometimes $400 per month minimum in cash flow.
That's great on the single family side.
Sure.
So you're kind of where does that put you in Memphis then? Largely in the outskirts a little bit, into the suburbs with that kind of ARV?
Yeah, like the Cordova outskirts of Memphis, ARV wise.
Yeah. Get a little better neighborhoods than some of what Memphis has to offer.
Absolutely. I made that mistake early on. I'd buy those low end rentals for 10, 15, 20 grand, and they look great on paper, but the reality is they never pan out, in my opinion.
Yeah. What kind of, at a high level, what kind of things make it not pencil out? What do you have to do?
Yeah. So,
who do you have to deal with?
Different quality of tenant, higher turnover, rate, higher turnover costs. Every time I'd have to evict a tenant, or beg a tenant to leave 6 months into a lease, I'd have to drop 3, 4, 5 grand into it. And there goes your entire cash flow for the year and some. So there are ways to make money with lower end homes, especially via Section 8, but it's not fun.
There's work there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Serious work. What's been looking back, what has been the biggest challenge, the biggest struggle to get to the point where you're at today in your business?
Yeah. Biggest challenge, ironically, wasn't really getting my first deal or getting into the business. The challenge was scaling the business. I even told my wife, I think about this all the time back in 2019, early 2019, I told her one day, once I get to a point to where we're cranking out deals, we have a thriving business, I want to give back. I want to offer some type of mentorship for people who are going through what I was going through. And at the time that was, trying to go from, 1, 2 deals or so per month, maybe 3 deals to 10, 15, 20 deals per month, like trying to scale to get out of that rat race. Because we all know if you're only doing 2, 3, 4 deals a month, you're in a rat race still.
Yep. What's that team structure look like today for you then?
Yeah. So team structure today is entirely different. So on the acquisition side, we have acquisition killers. We've got, Dane Boss Baby Dawson, as I call him. He's our director of acquisitions. He's been with me for 3 years now. We also have his son, Zach Dawson. He's been with me about a year and a half now. So we have 2 full-time acquisition guys. On the transaction side, we have, Lauren, and we have Dispo with Kiera. So they're killers as well. And we have a pretty good, pretty sniper-like follow-up specialist by the name of Webb. So we're about 5 locally in-house.
Got it. And the go-to marketing strategy is what?
Cold calling by far. We're probably about 95, 98% cold call.
How many cold callers does that mean?
So we have, for our particular team, we have about 15 to 20 cold callers at any given time. Obviously, there's high turnover rate there. And Pam is my cold calling manager. She does all the hiring, firing, auditing. She handles the back end of that entire operation.
US based or not?
No, they're in the Philippines.
Philippines, yeah. And so you're direct sourcing the cold callers. Is that what you end up doing?
Yep, direct sourcing the cold callers. We're taking through an onboarding process that is not typical of most other companies. We have rigorous onboarding, monitoring, auditing, training, all that fun stuff.
Got it. What cold calling platform are you using?
ZenCall. ZenCall is our go-to.
Yeah. You got to be turning through data like crazy. I mean, you're getting to the point with that many 15 to 20 cold callers. I would imagine you run out at some point of people to call.
We're working with probably around close to 800,000, 900,000 leads in our system. So we've got plenty of people to talk to.
You can cycle through that every year at least.
So I pull data twice a year, once at the beginning, once toward the mid, June, July months. And that's all I do with data. And it's always enough to give us around, 30, 40, 50 leads on average, depending on the day.
You're saying 30 to 50 leads on average a day?
Per day from our cold callers, from my wholesale operation. Yes.
Yeah. So then it drops down. So it's the 30 to 50. So let's call that 15 to 25 leads a day per acquisition agent.
Yeah, roughly. So we normally run with 3 acquisition managers. I had to let one go a couple months ago. Yeah. So generally, I like to give each acquisition person about 10 to 12 leads per day. Anything more than that is just overwhelming, in my opinion.
Yeah. Are you buying them over the phone then, or are they going to the properties?
No, everything's over the phone, 100%.
Everything's over the phone.
Even in my own backyard.
Yeah. And you just focus in Memphis?
We do nationwide PPC as well. So we might do about 1 or 2 deals per month in random states.
Yeah. It's exceptional what you've been able to build there and focus in on the cold calling, get that really super dialed in.
Thank you.
You probably have a pretty rigorous process to make sure you get those people retained, even though there's a high turnover, but find the right people and they just stay with you for a long time, I suspect.
Absolutely. We had quite a few people who have been with me for about 1 to 2 years. And that's hard to find with people in the Philippines working here remotely.
Yeah, especially in that type of role. Just the cold calling in general has got a burnout rate associated with it.
Absolutely.
At a full-time level, for sure. Talk to me about culture in business. What's that look like?
It's funny you say that. We actually are going through a little chaos right now, but usually pretty good, pretty fun. We do like a hybrid type role where we're in the office 2 days per week. We're now transitioning back into full-time temporarily, but it's a fun environment. We go to lunches. We have, gatherings here and there. Everyone's laid back. No one wears a uniform. No one's uptight. Yeah. So culture's pretty fun.
Yeah. Where's your business headed? What's it look like for the next year or so?
So, Neil, my goal is to take this to a $3 to $5 million per year business while maintaining extreme profitability.
Yeah.
And while giving my team, great income and the flexibility and freedom that I want to have for myself.
How are you going to get there?
By just dialing in our processes, right? Doing what we've already been doing, but just, tightening things up a little bit and maybe hiring a couple more people. And I think we'll be there within the 6 months to a year, I feel.
Do you think you'll have to add another lead generation strategy, another median outside of cold calling?
I think it's highly possible. I don't think it's absolutely necessary just yet. I mean, I could probably hire on another 5-10 callers and bump the leads up, but I do want to dabble into this, some direct mail and heavier PPC over the next few months.
You text at all or not?
Well, we stopped texting back in early 2021. Weren't seeing the results.
Oh, just didn't have the results. Cold calling proved to be significantly better, huh?
Yeah, I mean, we started off with great results with texting back in 2019, and then just fell off over the years.
Yeah. That's what happens when it gets exploited long enough in a particular market, and certainly it's market dependent.
Exactly.
What's a little known habit you possess that attributes to your success?
Me personally, Neil?
Yes, you.
As funny as this may sound, like they call me a crackhead. I don't want to offend anyone, but what I mean by that is like I'm very.
I think you'll only offend crackheads.
I have some crackhead watch, and I'm not sure.
I don't know that that's quite our listener avatar.
No.
All right. So why do they call you?
Because I'm very assertive. I'm on my phone. I'm answering emails. I'm with the team. I'm really like hands on, and I want to get stuff done. Like. I just want everyone to have a very, very high sense of urgency and to get stuff done. So
yeah. Get it done. Get it done yesterday, huh?
Get it done. That's it.
Yeah. Well, tell me, where did that come from? What was the origin of that attitude to just get it done and that high sense of urgency?
I was kind of forced into it, Neil. I feel when I started off, I was in a very, very bad spot, mentally, physically, emotionally, trying to figure this real estate thing out.
Yeah.
And my back was against the wall, and I had to figure things out in order to be successful and productive. I had to get things done. I had to be assertive. I had to jump on things as soon as I could.
Yeah. And it means that you've stuck with it all the way through, and it serves you well, huh?
It has very much.
Yeah, cool. Let's do this. I want to move on in the final segment, what I call 4-4 impact. So your favorite quote: everything you are and everything you aren't is a direct result of decisions that you've made. You said it. What about that? Where did that come from? What was the origin of that?
I'll tell you the origin. That it's actually pretty funny. But about a month or two ago, my wife and I were at our gym, and it's more of a resort type gym here in Memphis. And we're at poolside, and I looked over. The girls are in the water. My 3 daughters, and my wife and I were sitting there just soaking it in. And I looked over, and I saw this guy laying in a lawn chair at the pool, and he had this massive belly. And I'm not talking bad about the guy, but he just had this like Buddha belly, and the rest of his body was really, really thin. And I was thinking, how do you get to that point, And then it was like an aha moment, and it's so simple yet so profound. And I thought, like, the decisions that he has made turned him into the person that he is, right? So essentially, every decision that you make has a direct result, and that result essentially puts you into the position that you're in. And so if you want to get wealthy, healthy, skinny, fat, rich, whatever it is, it all starts here, right? You have to make the decision, and you have to take the actionable steps towards whatever it is that you want to attain. So that's it.
What do you think it is that holds most investors back from hitting their personal next level?
Probably fear of loss, fear of failure, fear of not figuring it out. I know that's what held me back for a while. It's just the unknown, right? We all fear the unknown. So I think that's probably the answer to that question, just outright fear.
So you had fear of the unknown. How'd you break through that?
Again, my situation is a little different. I had no freaking choice, Neil. I had 3 daughters under 13 months old. I had no money. I had enormous debt, living in the middle of nowhere, an hour from any major metro, not knowing what the heck I was going to do with my life. And I had to try.
What was every day like for you? I mean, what did you do for the 24 hours? What was that like to get you moving?
So at the time, we had just lost our gas station business. So I ended up working at a store 2 hours from me. So it was a 2-hour commute to work, 10-hour shift, 2 hours back. So 14 hours of my day, every single day, away from my family, 3 daughters under 13 months old, away from my wife, right? My queen. And I knew there was more to life, right? I knew there's more to this. If people are thriving, making millions of dollars per year, why can't I at least pay my bills? Why is my water getting cut off? Why am I robbing Peter to pay Paul? Like, there's got to be more to this. And that's when I knew that I had to step it up.
Did you eventually, at what point did you physically move?
So I physically moved in late 2016. I moved to Memphis.
Tell me that. When did you start in the real estate business again?
So I technically I started in late 2016. We did one deal or two deals. I'm sorry. I didn't go full time until 2017. But that's when I had to move to Memphis. I knew that there was no opportunity where I was living, and I had to go find a new home and make it happen.
Yeah. Outside of real estate, what are you most passionate about?
And as cliche as it may sound, again, spending time with my family. Family is everything to me, and I truly enjoy going to the park, going on vacations, going on trips. I really enjoy family time. Yeah.
What's your favorite way to make an impact in the community?
By getting my word out there, getting my story out there, letting them know that if I can do it, anybody can do it, right? If I can get through the situation that I was in, anyone could attain success. And I essentially want to empower everyone to experience, that true freedom that comes from living your max potential. That's super important to me. So that's how I feel I can give back, by just speaking to the people. Well,
you've got a pretty powerful story from what you had to go through, losing a business and then clawing your way out of that in order to get to the point where you're generating and working at such a high level today. It's really great.
Thank you.
If people want to find you, they want to follow you, want to connect with you, where can they go? What should they do?
Yeah, they can go to Instagram at Flip Memphis, Flip_Memphis. Definitely check me out. Like and subscribe. Do not forget, guys. On Facebook, just my name, Rashard Alomari. And, hit me up. I'd love to reach out. I'd love to connect with you.
Perfect. Well, we'll make sure we get the links in the show notes placed below. Rashard, I appreciate it. It's good to see you again. I appreciate you taking the time to connect up here and share what you're going through, what you've been through, and where you're at right now, where you're headed with everybody out there listening.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
You bet. Hey, for everybody here at Real Grit, I'm Neil Timmins, reminding you that real estate requires real grit. See you next time. What if I told you can make 20 times the return of a single family fix and flip on your next big deal? Well, it's actually possible. It's possible inside the world of commercial real estate. Say, I'm inviting you to this free challenge. It starts August 15th. It's totally free. It's a 5-day challenge where I'm going to take you and deep dive into the world of commercial real estate, more specifically, capital multiplier properties, what that is, how we identify them. I'm going to show you how to identify them, how to evaluate them, and how to lock them up risk-free. I'm going to give you all the paperwork to do it. It's totally free. You can sign up to join us at www.20xprofitchallenge.com/real grit. That's www.20xprofitchallenge.com/real grit. And I'll see you in the challenge. If you like our content and want more, you can access it at realgritpodcast.com. You hear it guest after guest. Instinctively, you already know it, but let me call it out. The most expensive action is inaction. The real estate market is full of opportunities. You just need to uncover them. You can build a business that lasts for years, makes monumental impact in the lives of those that you love. It's not just about business, but about the freedom you get because of it. Have you ever heard the saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. I believe that partnering is essential. In fact, I partner with hardworking investors all the time. The point is that you can get a lot further with the right partner. Let me say it again, the right partner. If you've ever thought about partnering with anyone, or if you have a partner now, I encourage you to download my free Partner and Profit Guide, which includes the top 5 must-answer questions to evaluate a profitable partnership. You can find it at www.legacyimpactpartners.com. I'll see you in the next episode.